close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. My name's Karl Smith, the UK Hypnosis Academy, and tonight we're joined with Anthony Brindley from Showcase Web Development. Hello, and how are you?
Very good, thank you. Yourself?
Good. Yeah, so we're running a bit late today because we had a little bit of a technical issue, and some of you may note on the Ant's side there's a little bit, but we will get past it. We're all fine. The main point is that we get a message across about websites, web development, do's and don'ts. One of the biggest things that most people, when they're starting a business or have a business, faff around with, and that's why I've got Ant on tonight. So yeah, so it's all been good. So what we normally do first is give a big shout out first, Ant, to all the crazy people in the world. Don't forget, guys, you can subscribe to this channel if you want to, and get all the behind the scenes stuff. There's more stuff being loaded up in 2 weeks' time when we put the full diploma up there as well. So who's first out of the traps tonight? It's Mr. Stevie Barker. Some people call him the Space Cowboy, hey? Yes. Tracy Ryan, looking forward to seeing you soon. Hope you're well, hope you're fine. Shane Sweeney, I hope you're well, hope you're fine, buddy, over in Florida. Who else? Colette and David McHugh, good morning to you two down in New Zealand. Jules, where are you going? Down in Brazil. Stephen Sheldon in Colorado, hope you're well, buddy. And people will start to come through as they start to feather through. And I'll say hello as we do it. So, yeah, the weather's crap here. I don't know what the weather's like in England for everybody else, but did I miss summertime? I want to know if I missed the summertime. Did I have some type of crazy drinking incident and miss something? Because I can't remember having a really good day, actually.
I think it'll be the first time you've missed something due to a drinking incident.
No, that's a fair one. Normally paying the bill. Hi, late lady over in Mississippi. We're talking about websites tonight, and the key thing that I wanted to get across is got a lot of people do talk to me about websites. They're always worried about websites and faffing around with it. And one of the key things that I learned when I first started out is that I went over, and we're going to discuss this further in a minute. I went over to like Wix or something really cheap and made a really cheap website. And one of the biggest things that I found is that I kept on tinkering around with it. And I didn't actually know what I was doing. So what I tend to do, Eddie, sorry. All right, I didn't know that. How you getting on? Sorry, mate, I missed you. How did I miss you? Oh, here we go. We'll leave you up here for a bit so you feel really warm. Hi, Tasha. Websites are always a bane in people's asses. They really are. They're a bane. So I thought I'd bring Anthony on again, and we'd talk about websites. We'd talk about website development, and whether you go back to Anthony or not, that's entirely up to you. But it is one thing that on my inbox is full with. Have you got a web developer? Do you know anyone that can do a website for me? Those type of things there. Do I need a website? Don't I need a website? How do I spell SEO? All those type of things. What's a meta tag? What's a footer? What's a footer label? How do I do this? How do I do that? What's a fucking plugin? All of that type of stuff. But yeah, so that's why I brought Ant on, just to talk about it. Anthony's done my websites in the past. If you go to Karl Smith Hypnotherapy, he's done that one for me, which is a cracking site. And I think it's something that all therapists need to know. I know Steve, if Steve's watching me at the moment, and Louise, I don't know if they are watching at the present moment in time, Louise that is starting to work in my office in Woodbridge, they've both gone and done their websites. And Steve, at this present moment in time, the reason that I'm doing this, Steve went and got, I can't remember what it is now, something, I don't know, some website development thing. But he just can't leave the bastard thing alone. He just will not leave it alone. And even though I've done pointers and stuff like that, it's always valuable to know that, unless you pay out for a website, a good website, then you are going to get, you pay for what you get, really. And I always find, I was speaking to somebody as well the other day who I'm mentoring at the moment. They've got a web developer, and you've probably heard this stuff before. The web developer just literally keeps leading them down a garden path each week. Oh, they haven't got the development link. It's not mobile yet. It can't be played on a mobile, and loads of excuses of just somebody who obviously hasn't got a fucking igloo what they're doing with their website, has put themselves up as a web developer and spanners people of money. And it's something that your profession is quite, I think, is got quite a lot of in it, isn't it?
Unfortunately so, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's why I brought Ant on again, because I trust Ant. And when you've got somebody that can react quite quickly to a fault or something going wrong on your website, which it happens, these things happen. We were speaking the other day at the present moment in time. I think Russians just love my website. I don't know why, but they keep sending me lovely letters and messages and telling me how much that their friends want to be my friends in England, all of that type of stuff. Scantily dressed. I'm going to send them over to Louise. Evening, Louise. David, you're right. Good. So, just do you want to talk us through about how long you've been doing websites for, Ant?
A decade now. Yeah, I've been running my own business now for 10 years, learning pure code from the ground up for a couple of years before that. So, yeah, a little while now.
So here's one thing for you then. What's the difference between an off-the-shelf website, as in something that you can just go to like Wix or GoDaddy and just build something, compared to a bespoke website?
So I think the biggest difference really is specificity, if that's even a word. So something off the shelf, by definition, is quite generic, whereas something that's built for you to your specific needs is going to be much more appropriate. Even though it might cost a bit more, things should work generally better because they've been built with you in mind. You know, it's the same as having a custom-made shoe or a suit. It just fits better than an off-the-shelf one generally.
Mm. And do you find you get more problems with just the off-the-shelf ones compared to a bespoke one?
I wouldn't say more problems per se, but I think because they're quite general, so you find people having to do workarounds in their business to achieve something which, you know, if you speak to a developer, they might know a fairly inexpensive way to make that happen the way it should be. So, for instance, a booking system. You know, the amount of times that I've been approached by people saying, "Oh, I've been to you know, like an off-the-shelf kind of website builder, and the booking system, the times are in a different time zone or something, and they can't figure out how to convert it to UK time, for instance." Yeah. You know, having a developer on hand to sort that problem for you and build it the right way the first time round saves you a whole world of pain. You know, you don't have to include in your emails, "Oh, by the way, you know, 2 p.m. in GMT is the equivalent of," I actually don't know my time zones, but, you know, like Pacific time. It's a hacky workaround. It doesn't look great on your business, whereas a nice, efficient, smooth workflow, things doing what they're meant for and implemented the right way, gives you a much more professional kind of image to your customers.
I think as well, for some of the guys and girls that are on here as well, we were talking about that thing that I put on the website the other day, the chat widget, because a website to me is more of a shop window, more of a, I'm searching for somebody, they use Google to find something, they then go to a website. But I think that capturing people's pedigree information, you know, their name, their address, their mobile cell number, and any other details that you can do to do that is quite important. So just one quick one. What's the difference between a landing page and a website? And is there any what are the differences for starters?
In a word, intent. So a landing page, the intent of that specific page is to capture your information. I say capture, that sounds more malicious than I mean it, but
no, you're right.
You are, sorry.
You are right. Yeah, to capture information.
Yeah, it's to capture your information. So you as a visitor are there to be given all the information that you need to make a buying decision about that product or service, to an extent where you can reach out and contact the vendor to request more information. Whereas a website is purely informational. Not most websites that have been sort of self-built or built a while ago, are just like brochures. They're like catalogs. They're not there to give you specific information to your situation, to your needs. And most don't even have like a call to action on each page. Whereas a landing page definitely will be optimized to make sure you have everything all your questions answered, so that you can say, yes, this is for me. Here's my details. Contact me about this product or service. So it's a lot more focused than a website, which generally is a collection of pages where, you might have to jump from one to another to find the information that you need. Whereas a landing page has been thought about to a specific situation, optimized for what you're looking for. And that way it achieves better conversion rates.
So what type of things do you put on the websites for people to collate information or to get people to optimize what they need to do?
So I've just touched on it then, I guess. So one of the key things that, is a quick win for most people is to make sure you've got a contact number or a contact form on each page. And it's really useful to people to follow the 3-second rule. So generally, and we'll probably talk about this later on with regards to bounce rates, you've got 3 seconds to help somebody make that decision to contact you or not. And if they decide, yes, I want to contact you, generally users don't want to scroll at all. They want your contact details, either an email or a phone number, preferably a phone number now. But yeah, email or phone number available to them straight away. So these are the kind of things that you learn through experience and over time as to what works and helps generate leads with people.
Right. Oh yes, go on.
I was going to say, anything that builds trust as well. So trust logos, certifications, all those kind of stuff that prove you're genuine and not just somebody who's quickly spun up a website in 5 minutes, helps to build people's trust enough to help them convert and reach out to you.
So just one on that with trust with Google, it needs to have certain things a website, doesn't it? Like SSL verification and things like that. What else is, for those people that have got their own websites at the moment, what else can people do to optimize their website to get that like the authenticity from Google and stuff like that, really? Because Google likes Google juice. It likes certain parameters, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah. So we think about the intent and the problems that people face online. So first of all is trust. So anything that helps build trust around you, your product or service. So we're talking pictures of you, the environment that you work in, pictures of the product or service, as well as an about us page. A website should contain an about us page because Google likes to index that, so it knows about you and can push you forward for related search results. You touched on it then as well. SSL certificate, really important. Those Russians that are sending you all those nice emails, that's, to be fair, that's just an obvious presence of hackers and malicious spamware out there. And it's really important to your visitors to have an SSL certificate on the site to prove that you're up to date with the latest security measures, that kind of stuff, especially if you're asking the people to send their details to you for a contact form. There's a big debate as to whether or not to have prices on websites. So
yeah,
for me, I would put prices on the website because it filters out those people that are time wasters. But I know lots of people are worried about competition, that kind of stuff. But if you start getting into a price war with someone, it's just a race to the bottom, isn't it, really? But having your price on there as well, again, Google likes to index all these things, know as much about what you're offering as possible so that it can then push your site forward, or particularly well-optimized pages forward as search results. So that's, Google is just a question and answer machine. You ask it a question, it provides the most relevant answers that it can find based on how you present your information. So
I take it there's no websites really. I mean, even when we look at government and stuff like that, that they are penetrable. It's just a case of taking more chances and gateways really to stop the little shits getting in there, really.
You mean penetrable as in hackable?
Yeah.
I mean, every site is hackable. It just depends on the quality and focus of the hacker or hackers, really.
Yeah.
But general general security measures apply. Use a decent password. Don't tell anyone your password. Keep everything up to date, specifically security measures, your SSL certificate. If you're working on a framework like WordPress, make sure it's updated. WordPress do a great job of keeping on top of security issues. And whenever they find them, they release an update, and then they also tell you about it. So read the emails that come through from your site as well. But I mean, the online world is getting ever more dangerous, and just all those little simple things will help go a long way towards keeping you and your visitors safe.
Yeah, cool. Here's a quick question come in. Natasha, do you deal with automations as well, like link inquiries to Trello or Slack?
I haven't done for a while. The last one that I did was to Capsule CRM. So somebody would submit a contact form request on the website. That was linked to Capsule, and then they would get an email saying, you've had a new contact form. All this person's details are now in your system, and a task would be set up. So yeah, it's quite easy to integrate most of these kind of systems with websites.
Well, it's like we were talking the other day about follow-up Spark. Now, I made a decision the other day to take the contact form off of my website to force everybody into follow-up Spark. So the idea being is that when people hit me, they hit the website, they can click the button, give me some pedigree information. Because what I did find is that I've got 3 separate sites. Well, I've actually got 5 separate sites. I made my own up the other day for the for a project I'm doing at the moment. We launched, but the thing is it was only a basic landing page, but everything just goes to one place now. Because I was finding I was losing emails, I was losing contacts. I was like, fucking hell. Whereas if I have them all in one place, jobs are good. But having a plugin, there's normally a plugin for any type of website. That's if you've got a WordPress website and stuff like that. And stuff. But yeah, you can put integrations in like that, like you just said. Question: how often would you update a website from Stevie? And how often do Google index?
So with regards to updating your website, it really depends on your industry. So something that has slow changing kind of guidelines like construction, the guidelines don't change that often, but you should update your website when changes come into force. Whereas something like, I know you're pushing forward with guidance for the UKHA, and a lot of that syllabus stuff gets changed quite a lot and updated. Because it's still an ever, it's quite a recent and ever evolving sort of industry. So you need to update your website to keep up and stay relevant. Most importantly, that's the buzzword, is stay relevant with your industry. So, for instance, if you're a hypnotherapist and the government releases an update to say, suddenly it's all going to be certified or whatever, you starting to release posts about that topic is going to help your website come up in relevant search results, because you're keeping on top of the most recent news.
Well, it's like GDPR and all that type of stuff. Buddy, I even took the opportunity to use GDPR as a blog post one day on my website to say we are current and compliant. Here's all our stuff, blah blah blah, all that. So you got all that as well. But you've got to be current and you've got to keep the website updated, because what will happen is that Google will send out the little bots. They send out the little bots and they go around looking and indexing and checking all the website and seeing if it's all Gucci, seeing if there's SEO on there. It's like, very simply, if you're selling hypnosis, but then they go to your website and it says sausages and it sells meat or vegan meat or whatever you want, whatever you bloody well want, and it's not relevant, then you get downgraded quite quickly. So if you it's not clickbait, is it? But if you send somebody to your website and the website's got no relevance to what you're doing because you're doing it for another reason, then you'll get downgraded for it.
And Google doesn't. There's no specific rule for Google to say, okay, check this website every 14 days, because the amount of websites online is absolutely obscene and unfathomable. So what it will do is it tend to break down websites by category, by industry. You'll also have on websites with a good developer, you'll have a sitemap, and a sitemap Google will index, and in there will be a little priority tag. So that basically suggests to Google that this page or this post is a high priority post on my website. Please come back and check that more often than maybe the rest of the site. because it's really important. So Google uses little techniques like that to try and keep its search results as relevant to real life as possible.
Yeah.
I hope that answers the question. I'm trying not to be
Yeah,
too
will do. Then more and more, I like it. Easy to book. I take it that's follow-up Spark she's on about there. Yeah. And follow-up Spark, that system that we've got running at the moment, that's quite good. For those people who want to know, on YouTube, there is on the community with the chit chat on the community page. I put the link up the other day for it. Calendar's good for that. Yeah, Calendar is. I can't remember. What do we use on my UK Hypnosis Academy one? No. Sorry, Bookly. That was it.
Yeah.
There's another one. Kerry. Hello, Kerry. What if you started with a Wix website and you've got a domain name, but you now want something more professional? Can Wix be updated by someone else? No. Well, I know the answer. Go on.
So you can have developers update your Wix website, but you're still held within the constraints of a Wix website. What you can do, if you've got a domain, you can build a more professional website on a different framework, like WordPress, for instance. And then when you're ready and happy with that, you can then point that domain over to the new website. So you aren't stuck with a Wix website on a domain. You can chop and change. All a domain is kind of like a holding page, is a box to point people to, and you can point that to wherever you want.
Yeah, I remember many years ago looking at my dashboard on Fastos and thinking, Jesus Christ, what's all this shit here? What's a CNET? What's a AAA record? And then all of a sudden you start getting in the background of it and you realise what you're doing. But yeah, what Ant's just said then is what you normally do is that a 401 redirect, isn't it? Mask
301 it would be.
That 301, 301.
But you wouldn't redirect it. You'd change the name server to point to your new.
That's it. You changed the server name. Sorry, yeah. I was redirecting today for the mental welfare coach. I was doing something with emails today. So all you do is that domain, then you just change the records in there, or your web developer will, and then you can have that. So it normally only takes about an hour for it to update itself if you've got a new website. If you jump from one to another, sometimes it's spontaneous, but sometimes it may not work. All depends really what the internet's doing that day, whether it's having a bit of a bad day or good day. Doesn't take long to move across, really. Doesn't take long.
We have to say like 72 hours just to give ourselves a bit of leeway in case something doesn't go quite right. But yeah, normally it's
it's normal. It's normally about your website's only down for maybe an hour or so. I'd say I can't say.
If you're good, you can get it down to zero downtime on transfers.
Oh really?
Absolutely. If you have the new website ready to go, then
you just point
one to the other. It will transfer over in its own time, but there'll be no downtime.
Oh right, I see what I mean. Yeah. So it's only the transfer, isn't it? It's only getting that done. Yeah, got you. All right, yeah. So don't write keywords in white on a white background either. You get crap for that too. Yeah, there is
old
that.
School. Yeah, a bit of black hat techniques going on there.
Yeah. So what Natasha's saying there is that people used to have white backgrounds and then type in loads of keywords so it comes up, but Google doesn't like that because it looks botchy and messy and shitty. So yeah,
also you're trying to be deceitful, doesn't it? So it also pick up if you put like a really light grey on a white background as well. Like it is really clever on how it works out what's on the page and what a visitor can see as well.
Right, yeah, because it's quite interesting when you go further down the rabbit hole with websites. But yeah, what's this? 10 to 8 is good too. I don't think. Did we get that over here?
What's 10 to 8?
10 to 8 is, I think that Colette, is that like for web hosting and stuff like that? They're over in New Zealand. Yeah. So what do you normally find is the biggest problems that people get when they first start off their own websites and stuff like that? What are some of the big things that people can hit into?
The single biggest thing and the bane of every new business's life is content. And people feeling, I won't say silly, but finding it difficult to talk about themselves and to advertise their service. And they always feel like I'm being too salesy. how do I describe my really individual product? Is really tailored to the person, and getting over that obstacle is probably the hardest thing. Even when I built my own website, I found the content hard because to me it was really obvious, and it took a little while for me to figure out what people wanted to know about that product or service and make sure that I conveyed that information. But some tips for that would include understand your customer. So what are they looking for? What problem are you trying to solve? With regards to sounding too salesy, don't worry about that, but just try and explain your product succinctly in your own way and make sure you use your own language, because the language used on your website will set the tone. So people come, especially in the therapist industry, the connection between the patient, the client, and the therapist is really important. So you've only got a few interactions before they reach out, and making sure the language on the website is what you would say or how you would describe something kind of manages expectations of your potential customer client.
I'm not allowed to write fuck off on mine though, am I?
You can, but it will just reduce the searches. But yeah, I mean, to be fair, I don't know how you get away with it. It must be the videos.
But what I was going to say then is that we are talking sales, because I always, Anthony's been to many courses with us before in the background and spoke to people before. But if your client's got a scratch, you're going to show them how to itch it, how you can itch it for them. That's the way to look at it. If they've got a scratch, you're going to show them how to itch it, and you're going to show them, and you're going to help them how to itch it as well. That's the key thing that you've got to look at. You've got to look at what people's pains are. And then what you do then is what their nit points are, and then you then go about it that way. So if you're sitting there on a website and you say, I can do this, I can get rid of anxiety, and somebody's got anxiety, well, they'll take that language. I can do this. You funny around with just a lotus flower, saying, oh yes, we deal with anxiety, stress, strains, postnatal depression, and even ingrown toenails. Then people are going to be like that. You're just an arsehole. Whereas if you say I can on the website, that you can in this way help them and deliver a product that they're looking for. If they've got an itch and you can scratch it, they'll come to you.
So people know what they need a lot of the time, don't they? So if you describe that your service is what that person needs, then it's a win-win. It's a good connection between that person and your service. So making sure that you, as I say, think about the client or the customer and put the language in. Are you suffering from anxiety when it comes to food or weight? Suddenly, boom, person connects with that. And then you go, if so, I can help you by 10 sessions, 10-hour sessions, or whatever. And the person will have in their mind the kind of service that they want to receive, and if what you describe is what they want, they're much more likely to contact you. Don't be wishy-washy and vague. It's the worst thing you can do online.
I've always maintained that people should have videos on their websites. Are there any pros? Are there any cons to having to videos on your website?
Obviously, the first one that comes to mind is speed. So just making sure that your video is hosted somewhere like YouTube or
Vimeo.
Vimeo, yeah. So and embed that on your website rather than trying to make your website load the video. Basically, doing it that way round means that the video is stored away from your site and is kind of imported or embedded into your site and doesn't affect the load time as much. It still will. The load time is important because website and internet users want speed. Speed is the most critical aspect online other than trust and security. So you just need to be conscious of the amount of things that you're trying to load. But a video, it outweighs the pros of a video outweigh the cons by a mile.
So the other thing as well is I was going to say then about speed in loading is simple things like compression of photographs or JPEGs and stuff like that, and having them not, a lot of people don't title their videos. The pictures properly as well.
Yeah. So images, if you take a picture on a really nice, good camera, you're looking at like a few megabytes. And to go that on a website, if you've got a really poor connection when you're out and about, it's just going to slow the website down massively, and people are going to go, okay, I'm not interested, and move to the next site. So compressing your images is really important. You want to aim for about 100 kilobytes. Now, it's not always possible to get, you know, the size of the image down to 100 kilobytes, but there or thereabouts. And you can use online tools such as jpegcompressor.com or pngcompressor.com. You know, just do a search for online image compression. They're really, really easy to use. Like, you just upload, it's a button to upload your picture, drop it in there, it will compress it for you and just download it. And then you make sure you use the compressed image. Now, you touched on it there as well about naming your image correctly. Bear in mind that Google sees every website as code. It doesn't see the visuals that we do. It looks at code. So the amount of opportunity that you have to squeeze keywords into your image names and your image tags, you know, it is just an extra opportunity that a lot of people miss. So by naming your picture something specific, you know, Karl Smith's UKHA studio, you know, is a lot more beneficial than compressed image.png. And then you touched again on alt tags as well. So an alt tag is, in an image sense, it means if I can't see this image, how can I tell what's in this image? So alternatively to being able to see it. And the purpose of it is that Google doesn't understand what's inside a picture, so you have to tell it. So you use the alt tag to say, you know, Karl Smith standing in front of a UKHA background.
Yeah.
And then it uses those kind of keywords to work out the relevancy of your site to potential searches.
Yeah, it's all fun. It's all fun as well. What was that name of that? Because there'd be people now wanting to search for it. What was the name of that thing that you can test your speed of your website on?
gtmetrics.com.
gtmetrics.com. That was it. Let me just put that up for them. So if I just put this up, so if you put GT Met and then Rix, isn't it?
With an X.
Yeah, that's it. It's called GT Metrics. So if you go to GT Metrics, I've just put it into the search box now, and put your website in there. It'll give you a load of buff about your website as well. It'll tell you how fast it is, what it does, where the servers are, blah, 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 speeds, faults, all that type of stuff.
The speeds on that as well are much more reliable than the Google page analyzer. So that is just, even developers can't work out what's going on with that, because 1 minute your website will be like, you know, 80% and next minute it's 40. It doesn't make any sense.
No. I was going to see if I could bring mine up then, actually. But yeah, so what I was going to say is, what was going to mention then? Oh, SEO. So the importance of SEO. We were talking about that a minute ago. Do you know, is it to do with blogs as well? Is it to do with videos? Where does SEO come into it for you?
So SEO, to me, as a developer, is split into two halves. One is technical and one is behavioral. So technical side of SEO is basically optimizing your words, making sure that your content is relevant and all the tags that need to be on the page are on the page, like your meta description and your meta title, which are the main parts that come up in a Google search, and all your alt tags and all those things like that. Make sure your sites load in under 3 seconds where possible. And all those other kind of technical points fall under like the one-time things, so you can kind of tick those off. Yeah. And the other side is behavioral. So that is your social media interactions, your creating blog posts and publishing content, your Facebook lives, all those other kind of indicators to Google that you are actively practicing and involved in your industry. All in an attempt to get engagement to your website. So, you know, like my website's up on the screen at the moment. Having more videos and doing this more often gives more opportunity for more people to see that website address. Yeah. And being involved, you know, like replying to comments on your YouTube channel shows engagement, shows that, oh, this person's actually active and people are interested in what they're talking about. So Google will, as a result, bump those kind of results up in their search results going forward for anything relevant.
Let me just try something here. Let me just try something. If I just do this, if I do this and share. If I do this, can you see that?
Can't see anything.
All right. There we go there. I don't know if you guys can see it as well. Lost permission to capture. Oh, it's lost it. Oh, damn thing. Damn you, internet. I was just going to show people something then. Window. Chrome tab. Yeah,
it's one of those moments where it's kind of look away if you don't want to see what Carl's about to show you.
Yeah, I was then gonna show people what my GT metrics was on my UK Hypnosis Academy. So performance is 60%, structure 80%, largest contentful paint is 2.6 seconds, total blocking time is 122 milliseconds. Then they're fairly good, but there is a lag. There is a 4-second lag here for some strange reason. So it takes 7.7 seconds. No. It finishes at 6.6 seconds. So that probably needs some optimization on pictures and stuff on there as well.
Yeah. Normally, one of the big things is the TTFB, it will say on there, time to first bite, which is when GT Metrics sends a request to your website and is waiting for...
Yeah, 1.3 seconds.
Yeah, so if you can get your TTFB down, obviously you're saving a second then. And the way you would do that is caching or changing hosting provider, or because all it is waiting for a response from your server to come up with the website how it needs to be shown.
Yeah.
So yeah, those kind of, you don't have to get into the nitty and gritty of those. There should be a big grading on there, like A to F, I think.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
It just makes it easy for people to understand whereabouts their website is sort of performing.
Yeah, it's got a total pay. It's changed, actually. They've changed it up a little bit on there. But I was just looking at it then. Steve has just asked, I remember doing SEO years ago with Funnel Web. Is it worth doing your own SEO or to contract it out?
So again, this is another one of those dilemmas. Like, I know you, Karl, you've been very involved in your SEO and you've been fiddling and doing it for years. So you know a lot about it. I would say to the average Joe, understand it, but then contract it out so you can concentrate on delivering your service, making the money that is going to pay for your meals ultimately. You don't want the wool being pulled over your eye, so do a bit of reading, but I think GT Metrics have got a pretty good guide on there about what it's looking for. So I've kind of touched on a few of the points that you just need to understand how they're relevant, and then when you go and contract it out, the potential contractor isn't then speaking gibberish to you. You know what you're talking about, and then I would subcontract that work out because it is quite labor intensive. If you want to start optimizing everything, like you're better off getting somebody to do it as quickly as possible, freeing up your time and being efficient delivering your service.
See, that's why with the channel we're on now with the UK Hypnosis Academy, it's all the same name, because when I go live and people search UK Hypnosis Academy, you're just flooded with videos. One of the biggest things that I've got is flooding with people with videos. So every night it comes up on YouTube, massive YouTube, big search engine for me on there. So that's been quite big, but it's all about just getting getting as much traction wherever you can to draw people to your website. A website, and we should have covered this at the beginning. Oh, by the way, I've just put in the chat box, by the way, my GT metrics report for the UK Hypnosis Academy. So you can go have a look at that or go look at your own, whatever you want to do. But a website is merely there as a shop window. You've got to drive people to that website as well. You've got to drive them to that shop window. You've got to really bring them in. And that includes Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or Meta, whatever it's bloody called this week. WhatsApp as well, anything like that, anything that you can do, press releases in blogs, anything like that. They're really powerful things to get people over to you. And like Ant mentioned a minute ago, is if there's something in the news, like climate change at the moment, bang something up about climate change and mental health. Somebody earlier was talking about rain the other day, about how rain is depressing. Well, fucking didn't need a professor to tell me that. But the thing is that, you know, for long periods of time and how this, that, and the other, the threat, there's lots out there. You know, if you look at what's going on in the news at the moment, you've got an enormous amount of blogs, and you could do a blog every single day and get away with it. You could do a blog every day, and that way you don't need to, but that way then Google goes, oh, they really like their website. They really like their website. They're going to keep doing that. So if you just keep on top of it that way, but at the present moment in time, if you're not producing a blog or a vlog or a vblog or something like that, then you're off your noodles.
I think as well, like there's rumor, I don't know how true it is, but you can teach Google, you can get Google into the habit of indexing your site. If you release a blog post every week consistently for like a year, Google kind of gets into a habit of just checking your site every week, and that's a great thing. Can spend too much time releasing content, and there's a balance to be struck between advertising your business and working in your business. That's one of the traps that a lot of people fall into. As you touched on, the build it and they will come thing doesn't work online at all. There's just too many vendors out there. So you need to get the site up as quickly as possible, and just start plugging it, start talking to people, start giving out business cards, post out business cards. Even old school things like flyers are really cheap. But a flyer drop somewhere relevant can send you a bit of traffic. It's just
I forgot my phone, but I did mention to this lot the other day a thing called Tappy, 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 not happy. Yeah, so Tappy on the bottom of your phone, you can have a little tag and just tap somebody's mobile phone and it'll hand over the information. Lou's got one on the bottom of her phone now, so she can just pass all of her relevant information over and get it on there. So just simple ways like that.
I've seen these new business cards which have like a chip in them, and you walk past someone and tap it against their phone, and it'll
that's it. That's Tappy. Yeah, that's it. Tappy. Yeah, you can get one on Tappy as well. You can get a little roundel thing that Lou's got on the bottom of her phone that she got the other day, and she sticks it on the bottom of the phone. And I mentioned about Tappy the other day, but it's just another way to get your information out to somebody and stuff like that. NFC tags. Here we go. Natasha, you can submit your site for Google to be indexed to.
You can, yeah.
Yeah.
What doesn't mean it'll be indexed straight away. They normally say it takes about 14 days, but often it's a lot sooner than that.
Yeah. Is there any way of finding out if your website is indexed properly?
Google. So you can Google your I think it's site-index : and then your website name. And that will basically bring back all the search results for your website.
Oh, right. What was that again? Let's put it in. Site.
So site-index : and then whatever website you want to search for.
All right. I'll just write it down. Can't find a fucking colon.
I haven't done it for a while. If that was just site : and then whatever the website is.
All right. But yeah, there's something to do there. Guys, you got any more questions for where are we here? Yeah, go on the link I just put up. It Google's guides to SEO. Where did you just put that?
Probably in the chat.
Yeah, well, we can't see it. I can't see it. Yeah, go to the link I just put up at Google's guides SEO. Oh, right. Yeah, so right you are. So, guys, you got any questions for Anne? Because obviously it's quite a dry subject to do. It's not one of the best subjects we can do. But I'm hoping that it answers questions for you guys that are out there as well that are struggling with your own stuff. Because a lot of people, you can have the best website in the world, but if you don't drive traffic to it or traffic's not going to it, you're pretty much screwed anyway. So
what I suppose one thing we haven't touched on, which is really important to mention, is Google Analytics.
Oh, yeah.
Being able to track the progress of your efforts, really.
It's so important.
Yeah, it is so easy to install and free. It's really easy to install, and it will just show you the amount of traffic that's coming to your site, where it's coming from, and what it's doing. I know you're a big fan of the click behaviors. They landed here and then they went to this page and then they went to this page and then they dropped off. It's like, I can't see the process.
Yeah. Watching them, it's like voyeurism. So you can watch, it's like hot paging. So what you can do is you can watch what people are doing in real time, what they're doing on your website. It's quite spooky, actually. You can watch their cursors move, the page, where they drop off, all of those type of things. There is vitally important. It's like I was telling these guys the other day, learning about your demographics, who's coming to your website, what age groups are coming to your website. Then you can use that material there to then target market, because if your branding is coming up like that, then that's what you're doing. You're getting it. Little things like that, they're really powerful. But yeah, I always look at Google Analytics. It's like today we had 240. Before we came on, I had 240 hits on the website, and then I just watched where they dropped off and stuff like that, and bounce rates and things like that, which, you become really sad at, really, that's what happens.
The other thing that we've used as well is Hotjar, which there's a free plan for that. It's a bit like Google Analytics, but it takes a screenshot of the pages that you set up on it, and then after a while, it will give you a heat map of where people are clicking and how far down the page they're scrolling. And then also it will give you a little video of what they did on their visit and stuff as well. So
yeah,
really interesting.
Yeah. That's quite good. About blogging, would it be a page on its own on a website, or do you just keep it growing? I normally find that blogs are on one page, aren't they, so people know where they are.
Yeah. So each blog post itself will be a page, and then you'll have a blog archive or an actual blog. And yeah, it will just keep growing, and you got to think about it like each blog post is a page, so over time you'll have like a huge kind of cloud of pages, and try and make sure in your blog posts if you can link to relevant blog posts as well. So in a previous blog post we talked about such and such, here's a link, then you are helping Google find all of your posts and index all of your content by making it easier for visitors to find relevant stuff to what they're reading at the time. So think of it like a web. That's how I like to think about it. I try and cover off as many relevant topics as possible and link between them so that it catches more people.
Yeah, gotcha. Good. Guys, got any more questions for Ant? You got any more questions? Look, these websites there. You've got Anthony Brindley, www.showcasewebdevelopment.co.uk. Doesn't matter if you're in England or outside of the UK, because the website doesn't matter. You can be built anywhere. But if you'd like to work with Ant, or you've got a problem, contact Ant at his website and then go through that, because this is an enormously dry subject, honestly, right? And I know me and Ant could sit here for ages talking about shit, and you lot would be like, what's the fuck? Now they on about, because I am a sick bastard and I do look at data, and you've got to. And I think that if you've got a good website and you've got all the Google Analytics in the background, I've realised that I can't share a page while you're on at the same time, Ant. But the key thing is, let me just check something. No, I can't. And you have to, for your own marketing, you have to look at this Google Analytics. You have to look at the analytics of your website, and then you can then tweak and adjust consistently what you're doing. It's like me the other day, I'm going to go to just having one payment thing on my website. I'm going to have one price and that's it. And then people just book in thereafter. But the thing is, I've just told Ant what's going to happen. But the thing is that I'm just going to have one price and that's it. And people can book in. Because it makes it simpler. Because one of the other things is, it doesn't matter how much your website is simple. You will get people right on the website on Karl Smith Hypnotherapy. It says anxiety, weight loss, post trauma, make me feel better. There's about 5 different things, minimized it all the way down. I still get people phone me up and go, Karl, you haven't got nail biting on there. I take it you don't deal with that. You're like, Jesus Christ. Just to me, it sounds really simple, but I get people still going, but you haven't got this listed on there. So, you don't do it. And that's why we're just going to have one payment, just one thing, one price, 3 sessions, job done. And that's as simple as that. And that's what we're going to do. That's what I'm going to do on the website. I'm just going to have one price, book your 3 sessions, whatever it is, just book it.
Makes total sense. I think one of the concepts in business is be able to explain your offering in 30 seconds or less. Your website needs to do that as well. Keep it simple.
Yeah,
People don't want to faff around. They don't want to read through tons and tons of text. They want, here's what I can do. Here's how much it'll cost. Here's how I deliver it. Here's what I can expect. Where do I
yeah,
start?
and that's why I'm just going to go for the one price on the website. Book your sessions with this, and then go from there. Oh, Jax is back. I was thinking about you today. Funny enough, I was thinking about you. I thought I hadn't seen you for a while. Hi, Aunt Carl. Any general design tips, do's and don'ts?
Ooh, design tips. Okay. Don't use gradients. Think of people who are who have difficulty or visually impaired as well. So try and keep things nice and simple, clear. I would typically have something eye-catching at the top of the page, a bit like the old newspaper analogy. So you have above the fold where you want to basically get your message across. On a landing page, you would get your message across and have a form or a button or some kind of interactivity on the page as soon as possible. So yeah, I would start off quite specific about a point and then filter that down to, okay, you've got this problem. Here's my solution. Here's how much it costs. Here's some testimonials, and here's how you reach me. General design tips. I mean, it is obviously a general question, but one really important thing: page per service as well. Don't put all your services on one page, because how does Google index that as something relevant? Make sure you have a specific page per service to keep those separate, and then you can optimize each page then as well. Contact form near the bottom. Make sure your phone number and email address or some way to contact you is at the top of the page. I don't know what else I can suggest, really.
Mate, I think that if you're going down to those specifics, what you need to do is maybe I would strongly recommend. I don't get anything for this. Ant's just a good friend. He's not. I've known him years, and he's done my websites. But the same token is that my advice is that Ant's given you a lot there, and it's not a cut off, but it's how long is a piece of string on that one. I hope you all appreciate that. Is that it's so different for each other. But what I will say is keep it simple, stupid, and be mindful of what Anthony's just said there about when you are designing a website. You know, if you're going to put these really big, powerful, calligraphic type things on there and people can't read it, that is one of the worst things you can never go to is a website that's got curly whirly writing and you're like trying to fucking read it and you're like, just keep it Arial or Times Numeral, isn't it? Normally.
Times New Roman, I suppose. Arial, Times New Roman, Helvetica New, which is the default on my iPad, iOS, so Apple.
Yeah, so keep it simple, something where people can read it, because the amount of times I've been to websites and people have used like red to write things or green, and you're like, well, what happens to color? What happens to the people with a color behind? All they see is a white batch. They don't see that. They don't see.
Google will penalise you for that as well.
Do they really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because they're trying to be as all inclusive as possible. So
yeah,
if you make your screen, if you put your screen reader kind of tags in there as well, which basically say, your alt tags on image, for instance, making sure that your syntax is correct behind the scenes, then Google won't penalize you. But if you start putting gray on white or red on green, Google will penalize you for discrimination against visually impaired users.
Is it good to have an eye? Is it good to have an eye? Is it? Oh my God Almighty! He wrote it in the right stuff, and I can't get it out. Is it a good idea to have a video on each service page?
Yes, absolutely. So video says 1,000 words, or maybe don't put 1,000 words in, but a video gives you a chance to explain to someone. Give me 5 seconds. Let me explain what this service is about, and it's a highly optimized way of communicating your offering. Any chance you get to include a video on your website, you should take, because it's a chance for the potential customer to know a bit about you, how you speak, how you move, how many times you swear in a sentence. Any of these kind of things you can't get across in text normally. You have to put a video on there.
That's really important, actually, Eddie, because the amount of people, I've said this before on this channel, the amount of people that go, I want to book with you, Karl, because I can see you can do it. Plus, you're not going to fuck about. You won't faff around. I can see by your videos, you're very direct. You're very much just get in, let's get this stuff sorted. Let's get on with it, rather than, well, tell me what it was like when you were 3 years old. No, but some people just don't want that. And that's where my differentiation comes in. People want that. They will go to those people who want fuck. I get people coming in. I've said this on this channel before. I've had people go, I watched your channel, Karl, and oh my God, and they'll just be like, fuck, C-bomb, F-bomb, C-bomb, all the way through. That's all they do. And they don't even know me. They've only met me on YouTube, and they're doing it because they know that they can. And there is a service out there. I'm not saying that everybody will get away with that. What I'm saying is that comes from my personality. It comes from my background. So people understand that. So when you put a video up, make it personal. Be there. Be congruent with what you're doing. Act like you would do, like you're talking to your best mate, not like some psychiatrist with a pencil rammed up your backside. Don't do it that way. You know, it's just, you know, you've got to be congruent with yourself and your clients, not with what the perceived thing that therapists should do and should look like.
Yeah, I think, you know, you're most likely to get results if you work with people that respond well to you, aren't you? So there's no point trying to please everyone. You're going to sell more and better quality to somebody who wants what you offer, particularly. Yeah. People who want airy fairy are not going to come to Karl Smith. No way.
No, they're not. They're not going to. Not unless they want to get a unicorn shot.
Equally, you don't want that either. You know, as a therapist, you don't want airy fairy. You're going to get airy fairy results. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, sit there talking forever. Right, I would say. Get your videos under 3 minutes. Capture them within the first 15 seconds, but keep your videos under 3 minutes. You don't want to be going into war and peace. What's your view on that?
I would say 60 seconds for a service page video, 3 minutes for a more in-depth video about you. Or you know, a discussion about a particular topic.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So if you're just getting somebody, hello there, my name is Karl Smith, UK Hypnosis Academy, and blah blah blah. We're going to offer you these type of courses, this course, and we're going to help you. Just have a look at our pages now. That's a nice short, sharp shot of who we are. When you're going further into what you're going to be delivering, then I would look at 2 to 3 minutes, because you'll start losing them. I would say, if I was to sit on the fence on this one as well, I would go for around about 2:30. Make it less than 3 minutes. If you can get it down, if you can get all of that information squashed down, the longer people will view it. And if it's on YouTube, the longer the people watch it, the more Google goes, they like your videos.
And one thing to chuck in there, don't put one of those video animations at the beginning. Just go straight into you telling what the product or service is.
Oh, you mean like doodly and all that lot?
Well, you know, like some people have like their company logo come up and it's all like a company logo pops up, and then 30 seconds later they start talking. Yeah, people don't want that. They've got time for that now. Put it at the end of the video, but just get into it and start talking.
Yeah, and that's why you normally see a lot of video editors, and this is what we do now, is do the brief intro. This is what this video is all about. Then you get the intro video, and then you go into the meat of the subject, because that way you're capturing them, telling them everything about the aim of the video, and then what they're going to get from the video. My accent, I don't know where my accent came from. If I put my proper accent on, and like Anthony knows, because he's been up Norfolk and Norwich around that way before. If I put my proper Norfolk accent on, people are like, what the fuck's he on about, boy?
Like I was born there too, wasn't I? Born and raised Manamboyo,
There you go. So, scratch the itch. Yeah, just remember that, guys. If they've got an itch, show them how to scratch it and help them do it. Guys, we're at 58 minutes. Don't forget, guys, if you want me to build, and I know I've got 4 people on at the moment, I think 2 more people are coming on tomorrow. If you want me to build your online training package, you want me to set it up, help you record it, launch it, and make you start earning money, then go to online masterclass. So if you want an online course and you haven't got a bloody clue where to start, you can call me up and we will give you a 20-minute, myself and Louise will be there to support you, give you a 20-minute rundown of what we can do, how we can help you, and put it together. And then what we can do then is film it, edit it, and publish it for you. And I can't do any more than that, folks. I really can't. Combine harvester. We don't have many of them around there. No, that's Gloucester. Gloucester's more like that. Gloucester's more like that, you know. So, unlike us refined people up in East Anglia. Guys and girls, it's been forever. Thanks very much for joining us tonight, everybody. And thanks very much. It is a dry subject, but I hope people have taken snippets from it. Don't forget, guys, show your appreciation to Ant for coming up tonight and doing that. Don't forget, let me just get this banner up. Don't forget, if you want to speak to Anthony, just go to showcasewebsitedevelopment.co.uk or go to my friends list, and Anthony's on there as well, so you can go get there. And go speak to him there. But the idea is if you're looking for a website, get somebody else to bloody well do it. You'll sit there like Paul, who's if Paul's on here tonight, Paul, who's coming into who's up just up the road from here. He's built his own website and he's forever sending me screenshots of I've just done this bit to it, and I've just added that bit, or that bit didn't look too good. Just give it to somebody who knows what they're bloody well doing. Get the content right, get all the writing done, and leave the bloody thing alone. And put all your pressure into driving people to the website. Yes. All right, guys, and thanks very much, buddy. Guys, I will see you Monday. So don't forget, I'm away on Monday. I'm away till Monday now because I've got 2 big business meetings this week. The other thing as well is that on Monday we have Eugene Popper. From who's doing the European Convention. He's going to come on and tell us about what's going on with the European Convention and stuff like that. So you can meet Eugenie. I think he's over in Romania. So yeah, we'll be doing some stuff with him. So that's on Monday at 7:30 sharp here. Today's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, unfortunately, I'm away doing some business stuff. I'm away doing that. I've got big meetings coming up. So boom, I'm looking forward to it. And then we're doing that. Guys, it's been a pleasure. And thanks very much. Guys, don't forget, much love to you and your families. And don't forget, go out there and go practice. When you finish practicing, practice some more. Boom. Let's go. Like. Let's get some up there. Guys, I'll see you on Monday. Take care, my friends. Be safe out there. See you later on.